Welcome back to your favorite history channel, History Pickle. Today we will be looking at 10 interesting facts about the Medici family. Let's get into it. Number 10. The Medici family was one of the wealthiest families in history. Now, if you've ever heard of the Medici family, it's probably because of their incredible wealth. Originally from the small Italian town of Mugello, this family had humble beginnings. However, after Giovanni de' Medici came to power in the 14th century, the family got rich through banking and trading. Over time, they grew incredibly wealthy and became known for their lavish spending and opulent lifestyle. In fact, during their peak, it's estimated that the Medici family had a net worth of around $36 billion in today's money. That's why they're often referred to as the richest family in history. Number 9. The Medici ruled Florence for over 300 years. Now, while the Medici family's wealth was impressive, their political power was even more so. After Giovanni de' Medici became the head of Florence's main bank, he quickly gained a lot of influence over the city's government. And in the early 15th century, his son, Cosimo de' Medici, took this influence to a whole new level. He essentially became the ruler of Florence, controlling its government and making all of the major decisions. This gave the Medici family an unprecedented amount of power, and they were able to maintain control over Florence for over 300 years. Number 8. They were patrons of the arts. One of the most well-known aspects of the Medici family was their patronage of the arts. They were incredibly influential in the Renaissance and were responsible for funding many of the era's greatest works of art. For example, they were close friends with the famous artist Michelangelo and commissioned him to paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. They also funded many other artists, architects, and writers, helping to shape the Renaissance and establish Florence as a center of culture and art. Number 7. The Medici family had a number of famous members. The Medici family had a number of famous members over the course of their dynasty. Of course, there was Cosimo de' Medici, the man who essentially made the Medici name famous. But there were also other notable members such as Lorenzo de' Medici, who was known as the Magnificent and was considered the epitome of a Renaissance man. Then there was Catherine de' Medici, who was the Queen of France for many years and had a great deal of political influence. And who could forget about the infamous Alessandro de' Medici, who was known for his extravagant lifestyle and scandalous behavior. Number 6. The Pazzi family tried to kill Cosimo de' Medici. Now, not everyone was a fan of the Medici family's power and wealth. In fact, there were several attempts on the life of Cosimo de' Medici. The most famous of these attempts was orchestrated by the Pazzi family, who were rivals of the Medici. In 1478, while attending a church service, Cosimo was attacked by Pazzi family members, but he survived the assassination attempt. This event would come to be known as the Pazzi conspiracy. Number 5. The Medici crest is a lily flower. If you've seen the Showtime series Medici, you may have noticed that there is a single lily flower on the Medici crest. The lily flower actually has a lot of significance in the family's history. It was chosen as the family's emblem because it represented purity, innocence, and beauty. These were all qualities that the Medici wanted to be associated with, and they used the flower to promote these values throughout their businesses and properties. Number 4. The Medici invented the modern banking system. The Medici family is also credited with inventing the modern banking system. In the early days of their banking business, they introduced a number of innovations that made banking more efficient and accessible. For example, they created the first bank branches and the first paper currency. They also developed accounting rules that are still used in banking today. These innovations helped to make the Medici family incredibly wealthy, and they also had a lasting impact on the banking industry as a whole. Number 3. The Medici were involved in the slave trade. Unfortunately, the Medici family's wealth and power came at a cost. Like many other wealthy European families, they were involved in the slave trade. In fact, it's estimated that the Medici family profited to the tune of around $360 million in today's money from the slave trade. This is a dark and controversial part of the Medicis history. But it's important to remember that slavery and the slave trade were widespread during this time period. Number 2, there is a Medici tomb in the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore. If you visit the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore in Florence, you can see the Medici tomb. This elaborate tomb is located in the cathedral's crypt and is the final resting place of several Medici family members. The tomb was designed by renowned sculptor Michelangelo and is considered to be one of his greatest works. It's a beautiful and haunting monument to the Medici family and is a must-see for any visitor to Florence. Number 1. There is a secret passageway in the Uffizi Gallery. The Uffizi Gallery is a world-renowned art museum that is home to some of the most famous works of art in the world. But did you know that there is a secret passageway in the gallery that leads to the Medici family's private apartments? This secret passageway was used by the Medici family to move between the gallery and their apartments without being seen by the public. It's a fascinating part of the Uffizi Gallery and is sure to impress any art lover. So there you have it, 10 interesting facts about the Medici family. From their incredible wealth and power to their patronage of the arts and their involvement in the banking system. There is no doubt that the Medici family is one of the most fascinating families in history. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel, History Pickle. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.